Rakan Al-Otaibi, Unit 5, CIPD Level 3 qualification. This is the video recording for the performance review as part of 3PRM. I'm sitting here with Paige. She's going to play the part of the interviewee or the attendee to the performance review meeting. So just so you know, Paige, we will be doing a video recording. Do I have your permission to go ahead?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. All right, so welcome.
Thank you very much.
How's everything going, Paige?
Very good, thank you.
All right, great. I hear you have a vacation coming up.
Yes, I'm going to skiing in Switzerland.
All right, great. Is it going to be your first time there?
Yes, and I'm really excited.
Awesome. Well, hope you have a good trip.
Thank you.
All right. Have you ever had a performance review before?
As part of my previous company, we had annual reviews and appraisals.
Okay, great. So in general, you're familiar with the process, yeah?
More or less.
Okay, great. So at NetPorter, we kind of run these performance reviews a little differently. Initially we talk about, again, goals, feedback on your targets and things. We also like to incorporate a bit about development and any feedback that you have for us as a company.
Okay.
So is that okay? Sounds like a decent agenda?
Perfect.
Okay, great. So when you arrived to the organization, you've been here for a year now. So did your team leader ever sit with you and discuss your goals, business objectives?
Yeah, as part of the onboarding process, the team leader sat me down and met with me and discussed the goals, the targets, and my personal KPI.
All right, perfect. Just for my knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So what do you enjoy about working here with NetPorter?
I think I enjoy the physical aspect and nature of the work, not being too desk bound, being able to move around a bit. I also enjoy the flexibility of the scheduling and shifts, and the weekly team meetings have really helped me here, and I enjoy the fact that we have clear goals for the coming week, and it allows us to stay on top of tasks.
All right, perfect. So those team meetings are pretty beneficial, yeah?
Yeah, it helps us recap on the previous weeks and also have a look forward and set some priorities for the week ahead.
Awesome. Glad to hear it. Okay, so as part of your performance review, we like to get a little self-feedback. So how do you feel that you've performed so far?
Well, I think I've actually performed well over the last 12 months as a warehouse operator. I've exceeded my targets every month, so
yeah, it's noticed. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, overall pretty well.
Okay, great. So how do you feel that you were able to achieve and exceed your targets?
I think it's the onboarding process has been just very well. In the beginning, it was very smooth. I was very easily integrated, and it was easy to understand the processes and procedures, and then to simply, once you get the hang of it, to simply improve on that and become better each month, and you'll naturally exceed your targets.
That's great. No, I'm glad to hear that it was an effective process, at least when you were brought in. Okay, so although that you mentioned exceeding, we have noticed a couple absences over the last few months. Would you like to share with me if there's anything that's going on?
Well, a few months ago, a family member of mine was involved in an accident, and they need to go to physio, and these appointments are during the week, during work hours.
Okay.
But they are recovering well, and hopefully it'll only be a month or two more of these appointments, and after which I can dedicate more of my time and focus on achieving and exceeding my targets.
Okay, well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you.
Hope they recover, pretty soon. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so as a part of that, at the same time, I would like to say that there are policies in place within the company. In the event that you do have some personal commitments to take care of, we can definitely look into moving things around, whether it's shift timings or things like that. We can look to resolve that hopefully for you internally. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So as part of the performance review, we also have some feedback from your team leader. I collect this from all of the team leaders. It's just part of the standard review, but I also want to get their insight into what's going on and what they've noticed with you and your performance. Yeah. So if you don't mind, I'll just share a couple of points. Okay.
Sure.
So overall, they assessed and they basically said that you've got good performance against the targets, and this is shown. I'm taking a look at our KPIs here, and your personal ones seem to be pretty much on point. Every month you've been exceeding the targets, without a doubt. So thank you again for your contribution. At the same time, they mentioned, and it could be potentially due to absences or other things, but they saw a little bit of a reduced effort towards the later months of the year. So I guess, can you tell me more? Is there anything besides the personal issue, or?
Well, as you mentioned, the personal family issue, as well as every month the targets have been increasing.
True. Yes.
So,
yeah. Very demanding time of the year for us. So in general, business kind of pushes forward. But at the same time, thank you again for your contribution and to always pushing to exceed. At the same time, our team, we're running a tight ship here. Okay, we want to strive to be the best-in-class organization. Okay, so the dedication, commitment of every team member is important, and yourself and many others included, especially within your team, have been noted to be the high performers of the organization. So good feedback overall there. I'd like to ask, how do you feel that you're getting on with the team?
Well, to be perfectly honest, I feel excluded from the team on the social side.
Okay.
I feel they often go to lunches or coffee breaks or go grab a coffee, and I feel uninvited or unwanted when I am there.
Okay. Any idea what could have caused it, or?
Well, a few weeks ago, there was an argument which got a bit heated between myself and Paul. You may be aware of this incident, but he was running behind schedule, and he was running behind schedule, and he was using the forklifts.
Okay.
And equipment that was allocated to myself at the time, and he was prioritizing his work over myself and others' needs, and this sort of resulted in a bit of a blowout between the two of us.
Okay. Thanks for letting me know, because again, I received feedback. I heard there was an incident, but I wasn't clear on much of the details, so that provides some insight there. Thank you. Okay, I do understand that an incident occurred. At the same time, it seemed to be a little aggressive in nature, but how do you feel from your side that you would handle the situation differently?
Well, I just want to get off the bat that the issue is resolved. It was resolved.
Okay, great.
And myself and Paul have an okay work relationship at the moment. On what I would do next time, bearing in mind I was very new at the time, and I realize now that I should have been more aware of the team targets and the team needs, instead of just focused on my own, as well as potentially being available to help others when they're behind schedule, rather than, and so the whole team can move forward. Okay,
well, it's very mature of you, and I'm glad that you realize that. At the same time, again, there's a process, right? When you guys first get together as a team, you go through a storming phase. Everybody's new, getting to know each other. These types of things happen. Okay, so okay, great. I think regarding the team and performance, we've kind of addressed the things here. Your KPIs, as we've mentioned, you've been exceeding the targets. So I understand the reasons why. Majority due to personal reasons, that you've not been able to give the same effort, because you did really well in month 9, month 8, month 10, and then in month 11 and 12 you'd still exceeded, but only by a small margin. So I was just trying to figure out the reasons behind it. So is there anything on an organizational level, is there anything that you feel that we could improve as a company?
Well, as just off the top of my head, the incident that occurred between myself and Paul could have also possibly been avoided or averted if we had more forklifts and equipment and resources allocated.
Okay.
So there wouldn't be a delay
True.
or such a stress on the resources.
All right, that's something I can take down. Definitely.
And possibly even a digital scheduling system, or that allows for equipment to be scheduled or allocated or booked.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those are some good suggestions, good ideas, definitely. I've also heard that you'd be interested in a potential team leader position,
Yes.
yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, well, just so you know, the company is growing and expanding in its operations, and there are positions that will become available in the near future. So regarding the team leader, what type of things do you think that we're looking for? Skills, qualities in an individual?
Well, I think a team leader needs to be dedicated and punctual, definitely. Leads by example. Someone who works well with the team, who's driven and focused on reaching and exceeding targets.
Definitely.
And the person also needs to be innovative and focus on optimizing delivery and ultimately improving client satisfaction.
Absolutely. And we can see that your efforts, again, at the beginning always show that you're trying to improve beyond what is set.
Thank you.
So we definitely see some potential. At the same time, there are some areas as an organization that we need to address, and possibly some suggestions that we could offer with regards to training, development. If you're interested in the position, then it's also part of our job to make sure that we help you the best we can to try and achieve that goal. Okay? So regarding training, is there anything that you feel that you'd be interested in taking on with regards to training and development overall?
Well, I think I would definitely benefit from a leadership development or team management course or seminar. I've worked with similar companies, and I would benefit as well as the company and team from a business development aspect. If we benchmarked the way we run operations against the way similar companies.
Definitely, yeah, that sounds like a great suggestion. That being the case, would you consider wanting to lead something like that potentially next year as part of your goals?
Yeah, I could definitely include that in my goal plans.
Maybe we could do some benchmarking studies with other similar companies and then try and find out what best practice looks like. Yeah?
Definitely.
All right, great. Well, great idea. Thank you.
Thank you.
Another thing as well, just from my suggestions, I think it would be a good opportunity, since you're only in your first, now moving to your second year in the company, maybe shadowing a more senior team member within the organization, just so you could learn from them, all right? There are some people that have been here for several years, they've got legacy time with the organization, and I think you could benefit from that. At the same time, it would give you an opportunity to work closely with some of the team members, instead of just focusing on our own individual targets, yeah? Would you be interested in something like
yes,
that?
Yes, definitely. I believe I would benefit from that.
Okay, great. So that's something I can look into, and I'll ask your team leader to help work with you to assign the appropriate person, okay?
All right, thank you.
All right. Okay, so at this time, do you have any questions, things that you'd like to ask me or learn more about with regards to the organization, or?
Not off the top of my head. I am very interested in shadowing and definitely learning from the older, more experienced team members, and definitely I'm interested in that opportunity.
Great. So let's start with that for the time being, and then maybe this is something we could look into, just have a progress review. Let's catch up maybe after a month and see how you're doing. Yeah?
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Perfect.
Okay, great. So thank you for your time, first of all. That's pretty much the end of our review.
All right.
At the same time, as part of the review, we have to assign a performance rating. It's part of our annual process, and the rating that will be allocated will determine your performance increase. So for your first performance rating, again, given the fact that you're just stepping in after a year, trying to normalize with the rest of the team members, and again, addressing any areas on the personal side, we're giving you a B performance rating.
All right.
Okay. We feel overall that you've demonstrated great capability and potential. It's just a matter of applying the right focus. There are maybe 1 to 2 areas of improvement that we can work to kind of address with you. Okay.
Okay.
But overall, thank you for your contribution and for your time. And I look forward to our next meeting.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks for your time.
Yeah.